Okay, 1.5%, 1.25% fire, 5346 for the index, and must say a large part of the move that has come into the index is largely because of what Tata Motors, TCS and Infosys have done in trade. So IT as a pocket has done extremely well for itself in today's session. Look at Infosys, look at TCS, very good going. Banking has followed suit, so ICICI Bank, SBI, a couple of these stocks, HDFC as well. 719 for that one, 1.5% higher. So that's been extremely good. But it's IT, banking, and to an extent Tata Motors. Not so much of a support by Reliance Industries in today's trade. So make sure it's not really a Reliance-led rally. Though, of course, it's still higher by close to 1%, 6 rupees. But yes, it's IT and banking which has done extremely well. Broader markets, lots of stock-specific moves. There are negatives as well. Look at the Stanchart IDR, for example. That's I think, if I'm not wrong, locked on a lower circuit. So that one has corrected big time in trade. But aviation flying high, Bajaj Finserv and a couple of other financial names flying very well for itself, doing very well for themselves as well. And the broader markets, the small cap space, there are a couple of movers on volumes. I think the day really belongs to SpiceJet and Jet Airways. The virtue of the kind of numbers or the kind of upgrades that have come in for Jet Airways in today's trade, while that is higher, look at the beta that has come into SpiceJet in today's trade. Jet is up 3.5%. SpiceJet is up a whole 11%. So strong show that has happened in today's trade. Of course, the topic that you're seeing on a screen is probably the opinion of a few guests that have spoken on the channel as well.
Yes, indeed, so stock-specific activity, but for a lot of these index heavyweights, Ambuja Cement, HCL Tech, Sun Pharma, HDFC Bank, they're quoting at their 52-week highs. So big build-up in positions seen for these stock, and of course their participation is reflecting the kind of price action also that these stocks have experienced in today's session. Best time then to get a quick perspective from our guests. Ashwini Gujral and Mitesh Thakkar as always join us with their views on the market. Good afternoon to both of you. Come to you first, Ashwini. What do you make of the market momentum this afternoon, whether it's sustainable or not?
Well, today we have crossed 5280, 5300 decisively, and without that, kind of one extraordinary move from a large cap. It's a well-balanced rally. So today's rally inspires much more confidence, although Bank Nifty still has not participated as much as we would like, but at least it is, balanced across sectors. Now chances are that 5350 should be some kind of a formality, and beyond that we should open up another 200 to about 250 points, which is about 5550, 5600. That is possible. So for the moment people should remain long both on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. See, the moment we are beginning to cross highs on the Nifty, CNX IT has also started participating. Bank Nifty has also started participating. But clearly Nifty is outperforming both these indices because of basically oil and gas. So that remains the index that is outperforming. So BTST Z Entertainment is the one stock that is really accelerating its up move now. It had a 4-day type of correction and now today has come back on very strong volume. So this is a buy with a stop about 163, target of 185. Karnataka Bank, again sharp correction from about 100, 104 type of levels. Today is moving back up sharply post the correction. So this is a buy with a stop about 92, target of 104. And HCL Tech, that range of about 470 to 520, that is breaking out on the upside. So that's a buy with a stop about 525 and looking for targets about 560.
Large cap IT indeed is doing extremely well, and HCL of course is amongst the stronger ones in that pocket. Mitesh, what's your sense? How are you playing the index? What are the specific names? And just a follow-up on a BTST that you gave yesterday, Reliance Capital. It's 4% in the money. Would you stay long? Would you still go buy it? Or you would just simply stay long on that one?
Neeraj, I think, again, we've been following this strategy. Book your part, take part profits. I was looking for a price target of 365. It's nearly hit those levels in the spot segment. Take part profits, stay long. I think there's a good chance that we might actually see levels of 380 also coming in over here for Reliance Capital. And just trail your stop loss to below 354, which is the support level on the intraday charts. Having said that, I think on index, I would agree with Ashwini. In fact, I've been considering that entire scenario myself as to whether the Nifty will now finally, start to give a big breakout on the weekly charts. 5350 was a level. The other thing is that yesterday, I think, what was missing was the market breadth. Today, we have that in our favor. So today is a much more, or rather, the scenario is much more positive today to consider some kind of a strong breakout happening on the Nifty. And 5570, 5580 is what my understanding is that, could be a target once possibly we start closing above 5350, have a couple of closings above that levels. So that's a good positive on the index. So on the Nifty, maybe, we will initiate a trade in a couple of days once we get a breakout confirmation at higher levels. 5344 may not be the best level to start a trade off, but yes, the view has, been extended on the upside. Coming back to stock specific calls, I've got a BTSC call on ACC, which can be bought with a stop at 1326 for a price target of 1360, and a call on Reliance Infra, which can be bought with a stop at 509 for a price target of 545 to about 550.
ADAG is making a meaningful move, all right, in over the last few days, but that is to be expected. Stocks like Reliance Capital have a high correlation to the way the index moves, maybe move with a bit of a lag, and that could probably well work in Reliance Capital's favor over the next session or two. Paras Edinwala joins us with his sense of how the fundamentals are shaping up. Paras, thanks so much for joining in. What explains the gung-ho in the markets in the last 2 days? Globally, not too much has changed. Has it got to do with the noises that are coming in from Delhi? And two, are you a buyer at the index in certain beaten down stocks or otherwise?
I think, absence of any negative news from Europe and other parts of the world is one reason, and second, expectations that the new finance minister will kind of ensure that the problems in the economy are kind of addressed. I think these are two reasons why the markets have been building up, and the global markets too have been aiding our market sentiments because of the manner in which they have been moving. So I think it's green until it really lasts. Seems to be a pretty good move, pretty broad-based move, and I hope it really sustains.
Okay, those are some flashes on your screen. We are about to get an exclusive story on Reliance Communications as well, so that will happen in just moments from now. But as I said, ADAG is clearly in the limelight in today's session, as is banking. But must say, the kind of move that we've seen in the aviation stocks today takes the breath away, particularly SpiceJet. So Jet Airways as well has gotten a bit of a thumbs up. Tata Motors not doing too badly from the index either. So just split up these stocks. Ashwini, come to you. Jet Airways and SpiceJet, the targets put up by Jet Airways by a couple of brokerages citing yields and other factors are, well, northwards of 480-500. What's your sense on both the aviation stocks?
See, Jet Airways went through a sharp correction, and now that correction is over, partly because of the market, partly because aviation is doing a bit better. So chances are that we could see levels of 500 because we had a 90-point correction from about 411. So theoretically, levels of about 500 are possible. Again, SpiceJet, these two seem to be the only aviation plays, and since it corrected to about 24 from 36, so targets of about 48, 50 are possible even on SpiceJet. But the trick on these stocks is to get off while the going is good, because generally they correct 30-40% because of news, or because they are cyclical stocks basically.
Okay, an important piece of news coming on your screens. I mean, this is all ministry sources saying that the management panel has conditionally approved Reliance Industries' 3-year capex program. They have partially okayed investment proposals for FY11, 12, 13. That would include essentially approving Reliance Industries' 3-year D6 capex. We'll try and touch base with Paras in just a bit, but this would be important. Remember, the stock of Reliance has been on a tear. Bring up the 7-day chart on Reliance and knocking at 800. Technically, Mitesh, on Reliance, what's the call after its recent move? That's 10% up already.
Yeah, we're extremely positive. In fact, yesterday also I mentioned a price target of 850, which would be likely for Reliance to come in the next 4 to 5 weeks. Having said that, I think, the best entry point would remain around 770, 775 mark. So maybe if you get a 2-3% kind of a dip in the next 2 days to come by, I think that's the best level to re-enter the stock if somebody is not bought it. But I think we are, of course, carrying on. We have personal position in the stock as well. So I'm extremely positive on the stock, looking for a price target of 850, 860, which can be hit, and 760 I think should be the flooring, should not be broken on the downside. That's also the 200 average level.
Okay, so Reliance Industries has okayed the audits of the books as well, and while conditional approval has been given for a couple of years, the first couple of years if I'm not wrong, on the D6 budget, and while there are certain clarifications that have been sought from Reliance's side, this is something that could have also acted for Reliance doing what it has done. A lot of people are putting together a string of pearls kind of an argument for Reliance Industries, lots that is happening in its favor, and which is why the long period of underperformance that we've seen in Reliance Industries for a while now might be coming to an end. I may be sounding too premature at that, but at least that's what a few market men have spoken about. So there are a few things that are happening right. Mind you, yesterday we saw the report as well, which spoke about how the Singapore GRMs have strengthened as well. And mind you, when the results came out from Reliance Industries stable not a month ago, really 20 days ago, their quarter-ended GRMs were at 7.5. Even if you take a bit of a difference between the Singapore GRMs and RIL GRMs, Singapore at 9.3 or 9.4, which means refining margins per se in the region have improved as well. So that is one argument that goes in its favor. A couple of other things that are working out all right for Reliance Industries. If indeed this big stumbling block, which everybody is saying is the biggest trigger for Reliance, gets sorted out over the next 6 months to 9 months, that is a big trigger for Reliance Industries and in turn for the markets as well. So really watch out for this one. This is a big piece of news. I'll tell you what, okay, we do have Paras. Paras, if I can make some sense of that, Reliance is saying that they've agreed to submit all the necessary documents for an audit, and there has been a conditional nod that has been given for the D6 capex as well for a few years. The meet was supposed to happen today. These are the news bits that are coming out. Important announcements, you think?
No, absolutely. I think the problems in KG-D6 and the kind of some bit of inconvenience that we noticed between Reliance and the government, that seems to be kind of sobering off, and looks like those problems are gradually getting addressed. I think these were the reasons, besides the softening of GRMs, which really impacted Reliance. So Reliance was undervalued at $700, and it continues to be undervalued. So I think these are definitely good pieces of news, and as these things really start impacting the results, you will see further improvement happening in the Reliance stock price as well.
Okay, let's take a break on that note. We come back, talk more about Reliance Industries, a couple of other active stocks, and more in just moments from now.